What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. 2 videos today because there's so much stuff going on. The first story that I want to talk about today is the latest update from Rafael Brandao at 2 weeks out from the 2022 Mr. Olympia. Now, Rafael is an interesting one. He's one of the best bodybuilders representing Brazil right now. And recently, there was a video of Brandon Curry giving his Olympia predictions, and he predicted that Rafael would be the dark horse in this lineup to crack the top 6, and I believe he had him specifically placing 5th. And that surprised a lot of people. I don't think many people have Rafael in their top 6. A lot of people might have him in their top 10. But 5th place wasn't really a placing that a lot of people had him, because that would have him beating Ian Valliere, potentially Hunter Labrada, William Bonac, Nick Walker. If you look at the placings last year, that would be kind of the range that puts Rafael Brandao in. And that's a bit surprising considering the fact that he doesn't seem to have the size that some of those guys in the top 6 have, like Hunter, like Nick, like Bonac, like Ian Valliere. These are guys that are like 260 plus, all of them right now at 2 weeks out. And I would guess that Rafael Brandao is probably closer to 240 than he is the 260s. Even though he is a taller guy and aesthetics is really what he's known for. So I thought that was a bold prediction and an interesting one from Brandon, because also Brandon Curry is one of the more aesthetic Mr. Olympia champions that we've had over the past couple of decades. And for him to pick a more aesthetic men's open guy like Brandao to be in the top 5, I thought was interesting. And I do really like Brandao's physique. And I think in this update, he does look really impressive. And obviously, he does look really aesthetic. And he does bring something different to the men's open bodybuilding stage. And that's always been what I've liked about his physique. Now, in this lineup, I don't know how far aesthetics are going to carry him, because you do have guys that have really good shape, like Andrew Jacked, like Samson Dauda, like Derek Lunsford even, for example. So it's going to be a tough sell for him to be top 6. But I like the boldness of that prediction. You guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about that prediction from Brandon Curry and about how Rafael is currently looking, because in my prediction video, I actually didn't even have Rafael in my top 10. Now, I think he's probably going to be in that call-out right outside the top 10, probably for 11th, 12th, 13th, kind of in that range. So I don't think he's going to be on the total outside looking in, which is going to be the guys that are like 20 through 32, because we've got 32 competitors in the lineup this year out of the 36 total that are qualified. So I think he's still going to be kind of in the conversation. I see him more in the range of like a James Hollingshead. I think James is going to be like right outside the top 10, kind of in that sort of area. But next up in the news, let's talk about the Liver King a little bit, because obviously there's a lot going on with Liver King. It's one of the biggest stories in bodybuilding. We kind of got it covered a little bit. So obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably saw the More Plates, More Dates video kind of exposing Liver King. There were some emails at the beginning of Liver King's social media career that he sent to a bodybuilding prep coach and also sent to Derek from More Plates, More Dates, basically detailing all the PEDs that he's currently using. And obviously that goes against the narrative that he's been preaching this whole time to help sell his supplements, that he's completely natural. He said that he's natural and has never touched PEDs on basically every podcast that he's appeared on, which has been numerous amounts of all the top podcasts that you can think of. He's been on them all, and he's told everybody he's natural, and he uses that as a big selling point for his ancestral lifestyle and his ancestral supplements. Now, obviously, that was debunked in the More Plates, More Dates video, and the only statement and the only response that Liver King has really given up until this point was an interview that he gave, or basically a statement that he gave to the Rolling Stone, not the actual magazine, but just to their website. He gave a statement to Rolling Stone, and he says, "In a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated AF topic." He continued, he also offered to give his thoughts on a long-form podcast, which unfortunately was not an option on the deadline. So he was going to do a Rolling Stone podcast, but they wanted to get this article out right after Derek's video, is essentially what that means. And they say the statement did not answer the questions about the latest allegations or the authenticity of the email images in Derek's video, or whether Johnson, his real name is Brian Johnson, would seek to assure followers that he has always maintained a purely natural approach to physical fitness. So he kind of gave a run around the bush type of an answer. He didn't directly acknowledge the claims. He didn't say yes or no. He didn't really, backtrack. He didn't deny anything, but he said he's grateful for the conversation that it's going to produce. So it's kind of a weird response. Then he also goes on to talk a little bit about what his message supposedly has always been, even though kind of the crux of Derek's video is the fact that he's always kind of preached this natural thing. But he says the message has always been about thousands of people who attempt to die or attempt or die by suicide each day, noting that our people are hurting at record rates. With depression, anxiety, autoimmune, infertility, and low ambition in life, our young men are hurting the most. Lost, weak, and submissive. He pitched his ancestral living brand as the solution and emphasized, "This is my fight." So also in his response, he still kind of took a moment to sell himself and kind of sell his products again. And really, this is all we've gotten from him, is kind of really a mockery of the video that Derek made, and no direct response to any of the claims. And also, I do want to note that the Rolling Stone article did include that they reached out to Derek for more information on the validity of the emails or where they came from, and they also made a point of saying that Derek didn't respond to them either. So they do have a response from Liver King, not a response from Derek. So I thought that was noteworthy as well. How much that really means, I don't know. Now, I also think it's worth pointing out here that Liver King has continued to post basically as if nothing has happened on his Instagram. So it's not like he kind of went into radio silence. He has still continued to post as normal, kind of the same type of thing. So nothing has really changed there, but none of the stuff that he posted has really acknowledged any of this. Now, next up in the news, this one's pretty interesting as well. So Aaron Singerman, the CEO of Redcon One and the founder of Redcon One, he was, you guys might know, unless you've been living under a rock again, he was sentenced to 36 to 60 months in prison for some of the activities relating to Blackstone Labs and another company prior to Redcon One. It was a federal indictment. It was a pretty big deal. And interestingly enough, he was released from prison today after only serving several months of this 3 to 5 year sentence, essentially. So not serving even half of his time, not serving even a full year in prison. So this was pretty interesting considering the fact that, like I said, the minimum was supposed to be 36 months, so 3 years. And he got out really early. So this was first reported by Boca News Now, and they originally said that they found out that he was going to be released today, and then they updated it to include at 1:50 p.m. as of today, Thursday, December 1st, 2022. The Federal Bureau of Prisons report that Mr. Singerman was released or is in the process of being released. It's unclear what home monitoring, if any, will be required. Neither the United States Department of Justice Media Office nor the prosecutor assigned to the case have responded to any requests from Boca News Now for details on the unexpected release just a few months into a 36 to 60 month sentence. So again, very interesting, and it kind of raises the question, what is the reason for his early release? Something had to have changed, or something he had to have done to get out early. I mean, the sentence was the sentence. The sentence was already imposed. It wasn't really up for negotiation because it was already done. So something had to have changed, or some kind of deal had to have been offered, maybe in exchange for more information. But Singerman, he got out way early. And the final story that I've got for you guys today, we had a recent update from Samson Dauda. Now, he did say in the caption of this update that it was from 2 weeks ago, making it at 4 weeks out, not 2 weeks out. And I think the big standout for Samson has been the fact that he was the second biggest guy in this lineup in terms of weight at 330 plus pounds in the offseason. A lot of people were very impressed by that number, even though I still stand by, I don't think that the number necessarily matters when you're on stage. It's just all about how you look. But that's kind of the other thing that people are impressed about, is despite these big numbers that you're seeing from Samson, he still maintains a relatively aesthetic physique. He doesn't have any of the symptoms that any other guy over 300 pounds would really have. The distended midsection, the lack of conditioning, disproportionate muscle somewhere. He seems to be pretty balanced, pretty aesthetic, and just pretty even-keeled for a guy that's 330 pounds. And again, I didn't have Samson in my top 10 in my predictions. That could go either way, I think, just based on how his conditioning looks. And honestly, this 4 weeks out update, I thought it was weird how blurry the quality of the video was. And honestly, I didn't think he looked that peeled in the video. And that's kind of what I'm worried about with Samson, is we've seen him in good shape, but we haven't seen him in phenomenal top tier shape, which I'm curious to see whether or not we're going to see that here, because it seems pretty clear that he's added a significant amount of size from the Arnold Classic of this year to now. And again, it's the same thing with Chris Bumstead trying to add 15 pounds. It's the same thing that we're seeing with Brandon Curry, who's apparently weighing 265 pounds. And it's the same question with all three of these guys, is will the additional size make the conditioning suffer? And that's the biggest thing I'm concerned about with Samson. But you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And that's going to wrap it up for the video. I hope you guys like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video for more Olympia coverage like this one. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. Alright guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.